the Man United stream. Hope you're doing well. It's Thursday morning and we've got transfer news coming your way. Yes, we're nearing the end of the transfer window. We've got about 2.5 weeks left to complete this transfer window. And of course, we're all talking about this huge deal with Carlos Baleba from Brighton. Will it get done? Will it not? Have Man United left themselves enough time to negotiate the deal with Brighton? And will Brighton even come to the table? That's what the big question is. We're going to be discussing that and lots more in today's show. So make sure you hit the like button on this video, and if you're not already subscribed to the Man United stream channel, hit that subscribe button. Now, before we kick off today's show, I just want to take this opportunity to thank everybody out there that's recently been subscribing to the channel. Numbers have been growing rapidly, so thank you and welcome to the channel. And of course, a huge thank you to our long-term subscribers and contributors, everyone who comments and gets involved. Thank you so much. This channel would not be the same without you, so really appreciate your input to this channel. Now the pleasantries are over, let's get into the main crux of today's show, and it of course is, and it centres around Carlos Baleba deal from Brighton. Everybody, Man United fans in particular, are talking about this deal. Will it get done? Will it not get done? Some fans are sceptical, saying that they don't believe it until it's going to actually happen. Some fans are saying positive, really positive. I'm in the middle. I'm positive that United, once they make the bid, it'll get done, but it depends on whether United will actually reach that point. Now, we heard yesterday the bid was imminent. There was a few huge accounts on Twitter saying, X or whatever it is called now, saying that this is going to get done, a bid is imminent and blah blah blah. And then you got loads of Man United fans all going into complete frenzy saying a bid is imminent and we're going to get Carlos Baleba, but no bid came. We did hear that United had a board meeting on Tuesday where Ruben Amorim reportedly told the board that he needs Carlos Baleba, and he was really forceful about it, and things got heated in there. We're not quite sure whether it was that dramatic. You know, these are board meetings, normally they're quite boring and everyone's quite subdued. However, we do believe that Ruben Amorim did stress the importance of getting a new midfielder, and Carlos Baleba being somebody that he really likes. Now, with this Carlos Baleba deal, there are some issues that United have to overcome. There is the issue of finances. They need to get the finances together, but we've been told in recent days that United have got the funds if they really want to go and make a world record bid for Carlos Baleba. Even in the region of 120, 130, United can get it done without even selling any players. The likes of Sancho and Anthony, and we've got the likes of Garnacho and Højlund. Even if none of them went this summer, United would still have the funds available, credit funds, to go out there and buy Baleba. They can get the deal done without even selling these players. United can do that. They've got credit facilities. We're being told that they've got 300 million that they could spend without having to sell any players. So the finances are an issue, but not really. The biggest problem, the number one issue United have got with this Baleba deal is that they're dealing with Brighton. Brighton, who are not willing to sell. Brighton have made it clear they're not in a position where they have to sell Baleba this summer. They don't want to sell Baleba. They haven't got a like-for-like replacement yet. And the noises that we're hearing is that Brighton want to keep a hold of him till next summer and then let him go. And in that time, they can go out there and scout for another new centre midfield player. Where did they find these players from? Casado, and they sold into Chelsea. Now they've got Baleba. This scouting department is very, very good. Or is it very good? Or are we just assuming it's good? Because look, we know that these clubs like Brighton, Brentford, they've got no pressure. They can bring in players. No one's going to scrutinise them. There's not going to be a lot of pressure on them, and they can bring in players and let them develop. Whereas clubs like United, Man City, you're highly scrutinised immediately. Immediately, as soon as you start playing, you're scrutinised, and they haven't got a long enough window to improve. So players like Højlund, you get given them 1-2 seasons and that's it, they're out. They haven't got any more time to prove themselves. Whereas clubs like Brighton, Brentford, they can allow the player to slowly come in and improve and get better over time. And then, of course, other clubs like United and Chelsea and Man City are looking at them players and thinking, wow, where was Baleba? Why didn't any of our scouting department get hold of him? Because they probably never looked at this guy. They probably never had him even on the radar. Yet Brighton and clubs like that take on these players knowing full well that they've got the time to actually put into their development and improve them and then sell them on if they need to. Brighton, of course, have this business model where they bring these players in for absolutely nothing and they can sell them for 100 million plus. Now, we are hearing that if an offer was to sway Brighton this summer, it would have to be over 100 million to get Baleba. Will United make that offer? I can't see that happening. I can't see United making an offer over 100 million. What I can see happening, however, is United making a bid for around about 18-19 million and then offering another additional 10-20 million as add-ons, which might or might not be easy to get for Brighton. But like I've said a number of times, United will not make a formal bid until, number one, Brighton give them the green light, and number two, they've agreed some kind of rough valuation with Brighton for what they'd be prepared to accept for Baleba. It's going to be interesting times no matter what. It's exciting. I mean, everyone is tense at the moment. Everyone is waiting for the news that United make that bid for Baleba. Let's hope, fingers crossed, that they make it within this week or two. And we are hoping that the bid is imminent. We got told yesterday it's coming, but it didn't come yesterday. Hopefully today, maybe. Let's wait and see. I think tomorrow might be the big day when United make the bid. Friday's been a huge day for United so far in this transfer window. Lots of news coming out on Fridays, and I suspect United will make the bid on Friday. Tomorrow, the bid is going to go in. Let's wait and see. Now, if this Baleba deal doesn't happen, do United have a backup? We're being told they do. We're being told that United have got a backup of one or two other names, other players that they're looking at very carefully that they might consider going after if Baleba falls through. This is why it's so important that they get this offer out very quickly and get negotiating with Brighton, because if Brighton simply do not come to the table, United need to have enough time in the transfer window to go out there, pivot and go and get another midfielder. Maybe not as good as Baleba, but someone who can still do a decent job for Ruben Amorim and this team. Now, in yesterday's show, we discussed Onana and how he's set to stay for at least another season at United. Yes, I know it's not what you want to hear. Some fans have had their say and said this is not what we want. We do not want to see another year of Onana. And trust me, I'm the same. I am really struggling to overcome this news that Onana is staying for another year. If it wasn't for the Baleba deal, I would be genuinely hitting the roof right now saying get rid. We need a new goalkeeper. And to know that Donnarumma is right there waiting to be pinched, waiting to be signed, and we're not going for him is so difficult for me right now. Seriously, Donnarumma would absolutely cook in this United team. I think he's made for the Premier League. He's huge. He always reminds me of someone like Schmeichel or something. Just keepers like that do really well in the Premier League. And I think whoever ends up with Donnarumma is going to be over the moon. City look like they're in the lead to sign Donnarumma. How I'd wished if it was United. Seriously, if this transfer window was any different and we'd already sold Onana or we didn't have Altay Bender, it would be so nice to get another goalkeeper. But United have got a huge issue. Onana's not leaving. And if Onana's not leaving, it makes no sense for them to bring in another first goalkeeper because they're going to be paying huge salaries to both. We said this yesterday in yesterday's show. So what is the solution? Drop your comments below on what you think the solution is. Do you bring in Donnarumma anyway and let Onana sit on the bench? I mean, in the perfect world, I would definitely do that. I would keep Onana, I'd loan out Altay Bender, and I'd bring in Donnarumma as our first choice goalkeeper. He would make a huge difference because you see, big games come down to goalkeepers. Them small chances that the other opposition team get, if they finish them and if a goalkeeper doesn't save it, we're done for. But this is why a goalkeeper, we saw it against PSG. PSG rolled their luck so much last year in the Champions League, and it was all down to Donnarumma single-handedly keeping them in games, and that's what keepers do. Onana, he's never done that for us. Since he's been at United, he's never kept us in any game. I can't think of a single game where Onana's kept United in the game. In fact, it's the opposite. He's screwed us over more in the Champions League than any other goalkeeper I can remember. Now, there is still an outside chance that United still might end up with another goalkeeper like Lemons because he is an understudy and they can bring him in as a number 2 or a number 3. So let's not rule out a new goalkeeper, but it won't be Donnarumma we're hearing, which is really sad news in my opinion. Now, moving on to sales. Sales. We've been saying this for months, haven't we? Since the transfer window opened, we thought United are just going to get all their sales done over and done with immediately. But we're still sat here near the end of the transfer window and we haven't made any major sale. Højlund, still here. We've talked about him going to AC Milan, but nothing yet. We're still waiting on a conclusion for that deal, but nothing yet. Sancho, well, everything's gone quiet on Sancho. We don't know what the hell's going on with this guy. He makes some random social media posts here and there, but United and Sancho haven't agreed a sale for him yet. He's not found a new club. We heard really early on, actually, about a month ago, we heard that Juventus were interested. Nothing happened. We heard Napoli were interested in Sancho. Nothing happened. And I think it's down to his salary demands. I keep saying this to you because Sancho's still refusing not to take a salary cut. And these clubs can't afford to take him on. And even though it's a loan deal and United are not charging a lot, it's just simply that they're not prepared to pay his salary for some player that's coming in who they don't even know is going to perform or whether he's going to even play in the first team. And that's why these teams have backed off. We're going to have to wait and see what happens with Sancho. This could be right down to the wire. And same with Antony. We've got no club interested in Antony. Now, this is shocking to me because Antony had an absolute brilliant season on loan to Real Betis. And number one, Real Betis won him again, but they're not prepared to pay for him. They want him on loan again, possibly. They can't afford to sign Antony. And I think United might agree another loan spell to Real Betis if no other club comes in to buy him. Again, this is just not news you want to hear. What is the problem with Saudi and not buying United players? Come on, guys. Come on, they're all here. Come and make these offers. Come and take these players and make your league a great league or whatever you want to call it. Take these players. They're willing to go. So take Antony, take Sancho. Why the hell? And then we've got Garnacho. Garnacho, we're hearing, is on the verge of joining Chelsea. Chelsea are again playing the waiting game. They're waiting around to wait until the very last moment and then they can pressure United into selling the player for cheap. That's what all these clubs are playing at. They know United need to sell the players, or they think United need to sell these players, and they're going to be desperate near the end of the transfer window, and then they'll agree to any fee or any offer that they make. Chelsea are going to lowball United. That's what we're hearing from sources, that Chelsea are looking to sign Garnacho for under or around 30 million. United want in the region of around 50 million. I think that's a fair valuation. 50 million for Garnacho, a superstar, a young superstar who could go on to become very good in the future. 50 million is an absolute steal. And I think if it wasn't for the problems with Garnacho, I think United would have probably slapped on an even higher valuation. But 50 million for a trouble causer is probably what they're willing to accept. And Chelsea will have to make more than 30 million as an offer. If they make any less, I think United should just walk away, keep Garnacho in the reserves. That's what I would do. Drop your comments below on what you think we should be doing with Garnacho and his sale. It would be a great transfer window if we can get another few more signings through the door before it closes. Make sure you hit the like button on this video, guys. Make sure you subscribe. You watching the Man Utd Stream channel, a channel by the fans for the fans.